Evening, guys. Welcome back to another live episode. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Apologies for the lateness if you're tuning in right now. But yeah, we're back. Episode 61, finally talking about back-to-back wins. So yeah, should be a good one tonight. Getting your questions, as always. Getting your comments. Of course, we'll be getting into the Barnsley win. Talking about that. Calderón's first home win of the season. Of course, back-to-back wins for the second time. I did actually forget when I done the post after the game. I said, because it's just been that much of an awful season. I forgot we beat Charlton and Burton back-to-back in October. So yeah, we get on to that. We got Charlie Keegan as well. From those of you who watch us every week will know last time the absolute madness that happened when he predicted us. Predicted us to lose 4-1. So yeah, we'll get him on. He'll give us more of an insight on Wigan last few games, league position, etc. As always, hit the like button. Really does help out. Keep smashing the support. Subscribe if you're new. Subscribe to Josh as well. Of course, go and follow Josh on TikTok as well. And feel free to follow us on all the media platforms and give us a Talking Gas a follow on Instagram and Twitter if you haven't already. Fan Hub code, that's in the description and going across the screen. So join that if you haven't already. But yeah, we'll get straight into it. Josh, how are you? Obviously back on this week. I had to miss last week because of the leakage. But yeah, you're back. How are you?
Yeah, I mean, moving into a house that you now own and then things go wrong, you think, oh, God. But yeah, it's all good, mate. We're settling in a little bit more now. And yeah, getting used to actually being over here. Everything just feels a lot calmer and slower, which is nice. So yeah, I'm all good, my bro. How are you?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, like I said, I'm good apart from obviously been a bit ill this week, but yeah, I'm pushing through. Obviously, nearly the weekend, as Neil said. Quote tweeted the post, Wigan away. Obviously, the madness. I'm not staying over this week, so I don't have to see some of the madness in the clubs. I'll be going up on the morning, but yeah, all good. Yeah, even into Fall on Blue, Chris Collier, even into you, Tom Butler. Yeah, Rex and Brum, of course. Yeah, obviously going to be missing that, but yeah, I'm sure most of you have it on the background. Yeah, will we get driving with Josh today? I don't think so. I think he's not in the cave today. I think
that was once when I was moving stuff around. That was once, and I hadn't lived that down.
Yeah, some of the comments were mad. Even into Rob Svek as well. Yeah, Aasgaard. Yeah, of course. The lookalike Aasgaard. Yeah, Charlie will be back on in a bit. But yeah, Neil, how are you? You good on this Thursday?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Flying, can't grumble.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, before we get into the game, I just want to get Josh's thoughts. Obviously, he missed last week, I'm sure. He was obviously watching me and Neil. I just want to quickly get and I know you've probably done a few posts about it, but I want to get your thoughts quickly on Belongo and Maka leaving, both going out obviously on loan. Maka actually scored the other day as well. He is out of contract at the end of the season. What were your thoughts on those two?
I honestly think it was the correct decision for everybody involved. Everyone. Yeah. Belongo started the campaign really well, but got found out in a few cases, which isn't unfair to say. He would probably say the same thing, and that's what you get when you step up from, National League, whatever it was, to the EFL. So he's young. He needs a loan. He needs that. And Harrogate are a great side for him to kind of really embed himself into. And then Maka, I think my post did numbers because I said this is utterly ridiculous. And everyone was like, he needs the loan. I agree with the loan. I just thought National League was a little bit like, whoa, he's obviously better than that, obviously quality-wise. But then I saw Neil saying that if you drop to a high-flying National League side, it's builds confidence, etc. And the argument is Forest Green aren't probably too far off of the lower end of League Two. So it makes sense. The loan, I agree with. I was just surprised that he went to National League. But again, when you see who's signing for Forest Green, they've got that pool. So yeah, completely and utterly expected and probably the right decision.
Yeah, and also the fact that it's local as well. Like me and Neil talked about, you don't have to move as well. Charlie Keegan asking Does anyone work Sky request about about the one? But yeah, we'll get into that. That was such a mad. I remember as well after that game. I remember he put it on the clip on Central Wigan as well. And just was. I mean,
I was getting
there,
absolutely pumped.
I think all predicted a win, but because of that comment, and obviously when Charlie said about the 4-1, and we was like, "What? You're having a laugh?" But that should be funny when when we get to that. Neither will be back in a gas shirt. George Fox says, "When are we going to bring in some quality?" The other thing I wanted to get into with you, Josh, obviously I know you were on here a couple of weeks ago when we was talking about transfers and etc. and how many players do we think will come in. Obviously a few have left now. Ollie Dewsbury going back on loan to a higher league, which is also good. He's been doing really well, so that's good to see. Obviously done well at EA. He's gone to Taunton now, which I think is a league or maybe another league above. But talking about, me and Neil obviously said last week, and a lot of people left their comments in obviously the positions that we need. I was on having a gas earlier and they brought that up, saying about what sort of players and quality. And like Calderón said, the comment says, when are we going to bring in some quality? That's obviously the thing in it, because a lot of these players, you don't want to go and just get any young player or random player to come out on loan. Obviously, Calderón wants it to be better quality than we've already got in the squad. What's your thoughts on that? And I know you might have said it a few weeks ago, but now sort of a week or two on, what do you make of the positions we need to strengthen?
So I, as you all probably do, everyone in the chat and specifically you two here, you hear everything from everybody coming in saying this player is going to sign, it's going to be done this week, 2 signings today, this, that, and the other.
Yeah,
fine. It looks like we're looking. For me personally, the positions I would be looking at is a striker. Now, I think we need to be really, really self-aware of where we are right now as a club and who we're going to be bringing in, especially in the January transfer window. So that's why it's a little bit more difficult. Comments saying we need a goal scorer. Yeah, but we won't be able to sign that goal scorer right here, right now in this January transfer window.
Unless you're lucky with some young player.
Yeah. Fair. And then I'm also thinking, that centre back, left back kind of role, especially now we've lost Belongo as well. The centre mid role, I think, obviously with Sawyer's coming in, that allowed Maka to go. So it's more the striker, centre back, left centre back. On the other side of things, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we didn't sign anyone else. Yeah, because it's just that would be typical Gas. He actually seems, unless he's too early in the job to start maybe rocking the boat, but he actually seems like when he says I'm happy with what I've got, he keeps saying that. He said if I can't sign anyone else, I'm happy with what I've got. So I don't know if we sign 1 or 2 players, I wouldn't be surprised, because after the summer transfer window. But if we sign no one else, I also wouldn't be surprised as well. So it's a really difficult one. But we should be looking at striker, left back, centre back, left centre backy, left wing back area. I'd take Baggott back as well. Baggott would be lovely for me.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because like you said, we're hoping obviously for at least 1, if not 2. I think me and Neil both said 3 players, I think, on sort of various positions. Another midfielder, another striker, and a left back. But then, also a centre back, because you got Mola that can obviously do a job. Left back, his obviously main position is a centre back. But then, like you said, according to a few people, also after another midfielder, just to get more legs, get more quality. But like you said, it is tough. I wouldn't be upset if it was only like 1, because I as me and you said in the summer, Neil sort of not so much so, but me and you both said it's a good squad. And I still believe that we're seeing
me too.
with coaching and with someone actually in there, literally almost going back to sort of being a almost like one of those modern day coaches which gets involved in the training, which we've seen on sort of videos, etc. that they've done. I think the players are just having some proper knowledge of being coached, because I don't think, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I don't think Taylor was actually involved much in the actual training like Calderón is doing right now. I think it was more maybe Horseman, but that's just looking from the outsider point of view, because you would have thought if Taylor was doing that, we would have seen more of an effect on the squad. But you've already seen with Calderón, the style of play, the attacking intent, also the fact that I'm sure most of you seen the post I put out the other day, last 9 games of Taylor, we had 2 goals, I think 1 win. 2 of the games we didn't even have a shot on target, and we had 16 shots in 9 games. With Calderón, we've already got 6 goals, 16 shots on target in 4 league games and 2 wins. So, Neil, what's your? We might have said about it last week, but what do you make of the first 4 league games? There's definitely a lot more improvement and a lot more attacking intent, and of course we've already got the back-to-back wins as well, which is important.
Yeah, I think whoever came in, they'd have had an hard job to do any worse than what had gone before them in that period. It wasn't going to get any worse. And normally, no matter who comes through the door, you get a little bit of a bounce, regardless. Even if you don't, play out your skin. It's a weird one when a new boss comes in, because there's lads on that training ground that have been cast aside, that knew their role. Everyone sort of knew where they sat within that format, and it just went in the direction it goes in. And then when a new boss comes in, you see people's attitudes and mindsets completely differ. You'll see a lad that has just been not interested for months on end. Suddenly he's first in at training. Suddenly he's eating the right thing. So do you know what I mean? It shuffles people up, and everyone gets back to doing what they should have done previously. But because of how the landscape of the squad pans out, and a manager's having someone and another one isn't, etc. But then it's all a level playing field again, and then there'll be a load of piss taken about with lads saying, like, basically, you tossed it off for weeks and then suddenly new boat through the door. You're first in training. You can't run quick enough. You can't do enough. So everyone gets a little bit of a wake up call, but immediately the first thing to touch on is, like, the intensity level just gone up, haven't they? Whether that be in the week, whether that be on a Saturday, they're doing more, aren't they? Them lads are doing more on and off the ball. So regardless of your ability, you're going to get a bit more of a tune out of what you're doing. But obviously, what you're seeing now is a young squad of players that are being coached and implemented that counter-pressing football that they didn't have before. Whereas I just got the impression with Taylor, he was very much. I don't think he believed in what he had. I don't think he believed in what he had, and he was so concerned with all he was interested in was damage limitation. I'm not interested in what goes on past the halfway line. Let's just not get pumped. That's and what Calderón's doing now is he's identified, and it was clearly obvious. I know we won Saturday, but it's obvious what's happening here is we are at our most vulnerable in our own half. So if we can find a method of pinching that football and breaking with a bit of intensity and pace to get us up the pitch with numbers and committing numbers, we effectively we're keeping the football and keeping it away from goal. And I know that we're not blessed with out and out centre forwards in our squad at the minute, due to obviously the volume and the numbers that have gone down. But ultimately, if we're playing patterns in the other half, we're giving our centre halves a breather, and it's about with your patterns and understanding where you are in a game, whether it be 20 minutes, 60 minutes, 80 minutes, knowing where you can go in, apply that route of passage. You look at Willow Saturday. Saw an opportunity, took it. Saw an opportunity, took it. It wasn't wild, outrageous, ridiculous running. There's a channel there to go and attack and push us on and get us, drive us forward and get us away from where our danger is and where our vulnerabilities are, which is, our first third. Yeah, like you saw the goal. Like we're still vulnerable in loads of areas, like set pieces. We're still vulnerable from certain little areas, but the best way to avoid that is try and keep the football up the pitch.
Yeah,
and
attack.
When we're playing against better sides, try and pinch the football when you hunt in 3s and 4s, and then spring. So that's the most obvious thing that we're seeing from the passive crack that we saw before. It was just damage limitation. Yeah, we'll get beat, but hopefully not by 6. That was basically what it was.
It was poor. Wasn't it? There was just nothing really. There was just nothing. But yeah, like you said, even just he's come out as well and said he wants them to be fair. He thinks they're nowhere near. I think he said earlier in the interview that come out today that I think it's only sort of 30-40% he thinks the players are at. So
it's gonna be because this is all a brand new format to these lads, and these lads aren't even as fit as what he wants them to be. To do what Calderón wants to do over 40 plus games, they're gonna have to be racehorses. You've got to pick and choose your moments in games at the minute to be able to do the things that Calderón wants them to do. Whereas when they're at full tilt, it'll be basketball for 90 minutes.
Yeah, completely agree. Yeah, even into Ben Gill, even into you, obviously see you up in Wigan, Fallen Blue, even into you as well. Let's hope he makes. Well, we'll get into Barnsley in a sec. But yeah, even the end of that, I said it in my. Those of you who have watched sort of the match reactions in the last few weeks before, or even the last year, really, apart from the opening of the Taylor, would have seen how glum and frustrated and whatever I was. But yeah, I said it. That was the happiest I've been in a long while after that game on Saturday. I wonder if they spend the 8K Christmas party that was sacked off in early December. Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, Josh, before we do get into Barnsley, what's been your thoughts? Obviously, I'm guessing you're more happy, more excited, more confident in just the way Calderón sort of brought his ideas across, and how it's been so far in the first month of the time he's been here.
Players playing their position.
Yeah, even just basic stuff.
Players being asked to do what they were brought in the club to do. A coach that actually kind of
coaches
knows what he's doing, and also is very much honest with his interviews by saying they aren't going to get this straight away. But on the flip side, saying I'm happy with what we've got. Matt Taylor all the time would say this side isn't good enough, and I'm thinking, mate, what? It just it's refreshing to see that Bristol Rovers Football Club are attempting a style of play that isn't just kick the shit out of the person that is, out your opponent, Scouse Mafia, all this, that. We're actually trying to play some football. I don't know what got into Willow on the weekend, but Soteriou's finish, that pattern of play, that kind of, you don't see that at the Gas, and
no,
he's trying, and it's like Neil said, it's if we're going to lose this game, we're going to lose 5-4, but before it was let's just score one, and many games, I can't even remember how many to talk about, but under Matt Taylor, we'd score one, go in at half time. I'd say on my match day vlog, or to you or to anyone, we're looking good here, we need to keep this going. And we'd come out and we'd change formation at the start. We were scared to, and then we'd concede or lose. Wickham, there you go. Just things. He demands so much. And I actually think in the first 4 games that he's been in charge, the players have done pretty well to receive it as well as they have, because it's a lot. You've grown up eating apples all your life, and then all of a sudden this guy's coming in and saying, right, we're changing to mangoes. That's a bad example, but it's a huge shift. And I actually think they've received it quite well, to be quite honest. And I actually also think if Promise was fit, he'd be cooking in this side up top, which really makes me sad. But I've been impressed, mate.
100%. And I'm sure. You just look at full time the other day, just the smiles, and even at the end. But like you said, like you mentioned, like you both mentioned, it's just excitement and just attacking football. Like you said before, it was basically long ball, really. Sit back, long ball, hope for the best. And if that didn't work, there would be no second, like no plan B, no plan. Well, there wasn't even a plan A really. But
I will clarify though,
we
are still quite bad at the back. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. It's still, we are still a bit all over the place.
Yeah, so he's made us a bit more fluid going forward, but at the back we really do need some talking to in some cases. But yeah, just thought I'd say that, like, it's not all roses. Do you know what I mean? But yeah,
no, yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's not going to be. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we'll quickly get into Barnsley. Obviously, back-to-back wins for the second time this season. And yeah, Calderón's first home win. 3 changes obviously before Thomas coming back in. Aasgaard getting only his 4th league start of the season, his 2nd league start under Calderón. And yeah, it was a mad, probably the best game, and it was probably saying this because we won. If we would have lost sort of 8-4 or 8-5 or whatever, then I would have been like, yeah, it was awful. But obviously because we won, but it was probably one of the best overall games I've watched in a long time. It was so, even though I was nervous, even at 2-1, I was like, yeah, we need this. We need this third goal. But it was just like you said, it's that excitement. Like I said in the video, I think Barnsley are probably the best side that we've probably played. Obviously, apart from Birmingham with how they kill you with passes. But I thought going forward, and yes, there were too many gaps from our point of view. And like you said, Josh, we do, and I said it. And of course, it's not rocket science. We obviously still need to be less vulnerable. We're not letting Griffiths, make the most saves in the league. He still made the most saves in the league every single week. But yeah, there was that. They started well. It could have been 2 or 3-0 within the first 15 minutes. Then you had that Sinclair chance was massive. The one where he had it on his left and somehow didn't even get it on target after. I think that was the first time we attacked. But yeah, when we attacked, we looked like we were going to score. When Barnsley attacked, they looked like they were going to score. It was such a mad game. But yeah, Donker getting a great goal after Wardy, excellent play. Like you said, Willow, madness. It looked like he was, 26, not nearly 36. 2 assists. Really happy for Saturiu Hutchinson. Like I said, it wasn't perfect. We got away with a lot, but it was about time. We've had some luck. I think even a lot of the season. I think even in some games under Taylor. But even, I pointed out the Exeter game. We haven't had luck in a very long time, and we needed that. But it was just the way we attacked and the style, the excitement, all the fans staying. Because I think, and it's probably, I think if that game was under Taylor, we'd probably go 3 or 4-0 down within the first half. And it's the most toxic place you'd ever see. But yeah, we managed to stay in the game, go in front, which was important. And yeah, we got the win. Neil, what was your thoughts? Because it was just a mad game, but obviously a massive 3 points.
Yeah, it could have been anything, couldn't it? Like I said, we could have been 3 down in a quarter of an hour. So it could have been a completely different it could have been a completely different conversation. This, it's another game that we'll speak about where Griffiths has earned his money and kept us in it for a period. But on the flip side of that, what you've got now is what we didn't have at Rotherham, where it was just hang in there all game. Yeah. But also what happened Saturday is you need a dance partner for a game to be like that, and Barnsley were perfect for it because they operate in exactly the same way. They're a top-heavy team that want to keep that ball high up the pitch because they know where their vulnerabilities are, and that's what makes that game so good on the eye. Is they've come up against the Rovers side that's going to counter pressure now, invite you on, and pinch to come and do exactly what you're doing to them. Granted, Barnsley are a bit more oiled at it than we are, and if you was to look at what they've got on paper and us on paper, you'd expect them to be a bit more oiled in the way that they operate and the personnel they've got in certain positions to do the things they're doing. But I mean, I've said it before about his naivety in the way he approaches certain times in the league and certain results, Darryl Clark. But I don't think you come off that pitch and I don't think you've got a bad word to say to your players. They've not done a lot wrong there, Barnsley. They've just come up short through their own misgivings, and I don't even think they've got a problem at the top of the pitch. Once something goes in off of someone's ass, they'll go again, and they'll just the goals will keep flying in. I don't think they've got a lot wrong there, Barnsley. It's just they are vulnerable at the other end, like we are, like loads of sides are. But what they'll try and do, Barnsley, is outgun you. And the minute one of them drops and it does go in, they'll kick on again. I just think that the last sort of 2-3 weeks, nothing's dropping for them in the final third, and they just can't. Like, Waters won't have a game like that again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, another day he's walking away with the match ball, isn't he?
Yeah. He missed four big chances. He missed. If you're a stats man.
Everything that happened Saturday highlighted a load of good stuff about us because Barnsley allowed us to highlight it, and then we've got away with one at the other end, which has highlighted other people will be saying, no, Barnsley, they're crap at the top. They need to get centre forwards. They need to recruit. I don't think they do. I think they've got good enough personnel in the positions they need. It just wasn't dropping for them, and it hasn't been for a few weeks. But they'll come again, and I expect them to, score plenty of goals, being 4-2, 4-1, 4-3 thrillers right up until May. But I do think that Barnsley are one of them sides that they could fall short due to the way that, Daryl's never known what a good point is. He's never understood what a good point is. He just goes for the jugular constantly. So that could be their downfall. But I think, like I said, the game was so good to watch Saturday because Barnsley allowed it to be that way. If we'd have done that, I still think if we'd have played the way we played Saturday against Wellings Orient, we'd have got picked off.
Yeah, maybe, because they are. Yeah, it was bad because, well, I mean, we said it, when we read, obviously, when we had Josh on last time for Red All Over, and when we obviously looked at the Rovers goals for and against, we've obviously conceded a lot of goals. We'd only conceded 6 more than them, so we knew they were vulnerable. But yeah, it was just like you said. It was one of those games where it could have been anything. Even like we still missed. We could have had another 3, but obviously, Barnsley could have had another 4 or 5. But like you said, it's about time we sort of. And like you said, they were all really work goals as well. They weren't just crappy goals. They were all really work goals as well. And I think it was. I want to shout out Wardy again because honest. You mentioned it, Neil. A lot of our players are sort of on their day, but when Wardy plays like that, we ain't losing a game. I thought that was. I said it after. I thought that was his best. He's had quite a few. Like I remember Norwich away, Bolton away last year, but I thought that was his best performance in a Rovers shirt for me. I think a lot of people said that, but yeah, it was massive. It was massive that we got because we get into Wigan, but they're another team that we always struggle at. Barnsley, apart from that win in 2019 when they'd already been promoted, we hadn't beaten them before that since 1991. So for us to get that win, I think was massive, and to make it back to back as well, to build on Cambridge.
And like you said about Ward, it was a recruitment strategy and under the Barton regime of getting players of a higher caliber that had previous injury issues. He invested heavily in his backroom team and physio department to try and get them sort of players right to get them on the pitch to make us a better side. But like you said, on their day, players over a 40-game season you'll fall short. And if we can get one with Ward is another one that he can't break down every 6 games. There's always niggles with him. If you can get that level of performance out of him week in, week out, and make sure that he's robust and durable, because under Calderón he's going to have to be in the middle of midfield. It's going to be a washing machine in there for him, and he's going to have to be able to stand up to it. Not so much his mental capacity to do the job, but just physically. Can you do it physically? And that's where he's fell down. That's where a load of these players have fallen down previously. And I think a Calderón pre-season is going to be a sickener.
100%. And I want to point something out. I'm pretty sure this is correct, but Wardy's actually played more league games this season already than he did last year.
So that's a decent. You've got a decent foundation underneath himself. You've again, a season isn't having a good month. You know, a season isn't having a good run of 4 games.
It's 30 plus games.
What's your body of work over 40 plus? Then we'll look at you and see what you are.
Yeah, 100%. Tom Butler saying fullbacks are still weak, and we all know if it weren't for Griffiths, we would have a lot less points. Obviously Ben saying it was actually a fun game to watch. It's been a while. 100%. Orient game was pretty much similar, but they took the. Well, it was pretty even on chances wise and possession wise, but they took more of their chances that they are. I still think
they're just a far more efficient side in every third than Barnsley. I think Orient.
Yeah. I agree. Good signs there. Hopefully. 100%.
There's no risk element with Orient. They know exactly what they do in the thirds and how to manage it to get to the second pattern of what they want to do. Barnsley they look like I'll roll the dice here. We'll breach them, and if we get countered, we'll just try and survive.
100%. Good signs there. Hopefully we're onto something there. Wigan away, we always seem to Wigan away. Our record again, like I said not long ago, is always bad. I think it's 1 win in 12 against Wigan in all. 1 win in 12 in the last 12 games, and that was last season when we beat them 4-1 at home. We haven't won in ages against them. We played a different game against Wigan. Saying Chris, before we bring in Charlie, get your thoughts, Josh. What did you make of it? Back-to-back wins, first home win for Calderón, 3 different goal scorers, of which all had their second league goal. What did you make of it?
Well, I did have to stop and consider if I was watching basketball at one point, because it was just all over the gaff, end to end. Honestly, if you would have seen the game ended 5-5, that would have been fair enough.
It was crazy.
We weren't. I still don't think we were massively clinical, but we were much better than we have been in previous. And the thing for Barnes is they weren't clinical. Griffiths had his Weetabix, that's for sure.
He's a ridiculous shot stopper.
Ridiculous shot stopper. I was incredibly impressed with Grant Ward. I thought he was an absolute joke. But it's not good. It's not good for the heart, the way we defend at the minute. So I'm hoping you just let the players off the leash going forward and spend some time tightening up at the back. But I guess if you want to implement your style of play, it comes from an attacking sense potentially. I'm not sure, but it was great. O'Donker was fantastic.
He was brilliant. He was
Hutchinson was brilliant, but he scored. So fair play to him. LT I thought was great again.
Just before you carry on, I agree. The thing is, I think it's, I don't know whether it's confidence or whatever, because Hutchinson's got into so many good pockets, but it was just his touch that was letting. I think if his touch was better, or maybe if he had, I'm hoping that goal will do him the world of good, because that was his first league goal at home. I know he scored against Exeter in the cup. I think it's just confidence for him. He does look like one of them players that he needs a couple of really good games to fall for him, because he got to so many good areas, but his touch let him down a lot, especially in the first half.
Well, I tell you what would have been good for his confidence if that screamer would have went in. I was right behind that. Mental, but he's. I also think as well, just to mention, we've obviously talked about him already, but Sawyers, I think he flattered to deceive a little bit. He wasn't, out of everybody who played, he was the one where you think, okay, but he's played 2 games. He's played 2 games and stuff. So I'm seeing people write him off already. Like, he wasn't fantastic, but again, he has a lot of quality, and if you stick with him, he will provide, invaluable talent and experience in that middle of the park. So just stick with him. I'm seeing a lot of people saying, why have we? It's his second game for us. So I was impressed. Yeah, I was impressed, and it was actually nice to beat Barnsley for once. So happy days.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Bueno's DD says should break our transfer record for Griff in the summer. Judd is good, but he's nowhere near the sort of level yet, which is where we need to be. Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? Because obviously Jed's one of our own, really young. But yeah, Griffiths is yeah. I've been watching Rovers quite a long time. Since 2007. I don't think I've seen. There's been a lot of good shot stoppers. Anderson, Mildenhall, Phillips. But yeah, to be fair, Griffiths is up there. Even you had Lumley on loan. You had
Belshaw.
Belshaw. Yeah, Bonham. That's the one I was thinking of. Bonham as well. But I think Griffiths has got to be up there in terms of shot stopping. I think he's been the amount of times he's
bailed us out. He literally has saved us points.
Yeah. It's been pretty ridiculous, to be honest. Yeah, there was I think I read it out, but there was a comment fullbacks. Yeah, it's an interesting one because we talked about it last week, and Neil went into a little bit of detail with thing is with Sousa. I think as well. Like, I also think Sinclair wasn't helping him a lot especially in the first half. Sousa was. They were, to be fair, Barnsley were probably targeting him, but I don't think he was getting as much help as he should have had, especially in the first half. It was like 2 and 3 on 1 at some stages in that first half. But I think yes, he might not be as strong going forward, but I think as a League One fullback, I think going forward, I think he's brilliant. The way he always wants to go forward. Yes, he's going to lose the ball sometimes, but it's like on the other side, it's hard, isn't it? Because you've got Senior, who I'm not sure. Taylor Moore was solid Saturday, but like you said, he can only do so much on the ball. I think there was a couple of crosses in the first half that went out of play when he went forward. Like, Senior's really good at going forward in that final ball, but for whatever reason, I don't know whether he wants sort of 2 different sorts of fullbacks at the same time, where you got Sousa, the more attacking one, and Taylor Moore, the more physical one, the more taller one. Or what's your guys' thoughts on that? I'll go with you, Neil, first. What do you make of that? Because Senior's not really getting the. I know we had quite a poor game at Stevenage, but I think everyone did. Why do you think he's trying to sort of split it up, where you've got one more attacking and one sort of less attacking on the other side? What do you make of that, Taylor Moore and Sousa sort of fullback partnership?
I think he's just playing the Andy's dealt. To be honest, I don't think if it was up to him and he had us in the summer, I don't think either of them will be in his his ideal dream starting 11. I think Sousa's doing brilliant for him at the minute as far as the patterns that he wants to operate in. It's easier to play a play like that because of their knowledge and the comfortability of the system that he's aware of, because he's been coached through it all his life. He doesn't have to work hard on the training ground, probably. He hasn't got an implement much. He goes, you know what I want from you. You understand the pattern. You know what I want you to do with or without the ball. And then he can go to work elsewhere. At the end of the day, like, we're in January now. This is about muddling through till May. This is just about muddling through. This isn't about doing anything other than getting stuff in place to get us to where we need in May, and then we readdress it, okay? The Taylor Moore thing on the other side is, again, not desperately blessed with the football. Can't do the thing Sousa can do, but what he can do is when Sousa goes, it allows them to feather into being a 3. It allows him to feather into being a 3 when he goes, and he starts striding into the middle of midfield with the football. And then, if we do lose the ball, we've got a solid platform behind us where he can feather back out again. Taylor Moore's is big. The big thing with Taylor Moore is he's not desperately concerned, I don't think, at the minute, is what he does with the football. I think he's at a position, Calderón, now where he said, I'm not going to cater to you. This is how we play. This is for the greater good. I understand what you are as your footballing ability and what you are on the ball. And if we make an error and a mistake comes, just keep doing it, and we'll find a way of recovering in the centre of the pitch. So Taylor Moore's he's on side with Taylor Moore, because Taylor Moore's gone, cool. I accept. You know what you want from me. I'm going to do what you ask. And if an error comes along, I'm not going to get strung up for it. And I think every footballer is cool with that. You ask me to do something, I do it. But if I fall foul of an error, don't whip me for it, because we've got a strategy in place to try and recover the football. I just think it's a better. It's like it's a fail safe for him. Okay, the ball gets lost in a dangerous area. We've got pretty much free centre halves that are good without the football. If we lose Sousa high up the pitch and the ball gets turned over, and now you've got a bit more volume in midfield now, where you've got like Ward, you're going to have Conte coming back in due course. Soyers has come in to fill a gap, but you've got a little bit of stability that can screen them three when they tuck in.
Yeah, spot on, to be fair. Yeah, spot on. Like I said, I think that's what it is. I think it's a mix, because even though I would love to have sort of, and maybe that is his plan in the near sort of future, to just be all out attack. But yeah, for now,
I think if he could get Jack out there, he would.
Yeah, 100%. Vaughan Blue said, hope we got a clear idea who replaces Griffith in the season. As I think Jed will be out on loan again. It'd be an interesting point to come back to. Obviously, he's doing brilliant so far, but yeah, it could all. Because obviously the plan was at the start of the season for Jed to come back and be done, but Calderón might think differently. Who knows? We'll have to get into it. But yeah, Jed's smashing it in that league. Obviously got onto that. Senior must start against Wigan. We'll also start Cyril on the left. Yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. Chris Grimm. Yeah, Yukola. Yeah, I completely forgot about. Yeah, Yukola was another one. He was brilliant at shot stopping. But yeah, keep hitting the like button. Keep subscribing. We're going to bring in Teo Aasgaard, aka Charlie, and he's here with us now. Charlie, how are you? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. How are we all doing?
Good, my friend.
Not bad.
Good.
Not bad. Yeah, it's been nice to talk about back-to-back wins for once, and obviously, a bit more excitement. Yeah, if we go, well, before we get into that, make sure obviously you go and follow Charlie, follow his page, Central Wigan, and also the Progress with Unity podcast. They also done their preview, which I listened to last night, which is always a good one, so follow them as well. Let's quickly recap the last game that we played against, because it was quite a mad game. I can't remember what was it in September. I can't remember if it was in September or October now, but it was quite early on.
It was. I think it was September.
Yeah, September, because we started okay, and then I think going into that game, well, it's not happened a lot this season because, as you know, we've been quite poor. But for all three of us predicted a win, of course. I think me and Josh went with 3-1 wins. Neil went with a win. I can't remember what score he went with. Neil had to leave, and then obviously the madness happened with you come out of nowhere. Well, to be fair, you didn't come out of nowhere. You did say like we hadn't sort of. There are some games where you'd miss chances and you'd think this is the game, and obviously the season before, obviously we hit you for 4. That was our last win against you, and I think it's our last win in the last 12 against you, which we mentioned just before you come on. But yeah. Talk us through that game in your point of view. You must have just been laughing, and you must have been just over the moon, especially after what happened in the episode.
Well, I remember going into it, and I think the 4-1 came about, like you say. I think we'd had spells in games where I thought, you know what, we're actually creating something pretty good. We just can't hit a barn door, and surely we're going to have to do it at some point. And then I kind of like went into a bit of a stat dive, and I was like, Griffiths has faced the most shots in the league, so surely
still has as well.
Yes, I think he's saved 97, I think. So he's closing in 100. I think he's the only keeper to be closest.
He's been a busy boy, to be fair.
Yeah, but like Josh was saying before, the amount of points he's saved you is unbelievable. Like, fair play to him. But I think, I just kind of expected there to be some space, but I didn't really expect it to go like that. I was just went over a punt. I was like, oh, sure, we'll score 4 goals. No, that's what Wigan do sometimes. And then the first one went in, and I thought, oh, okay. And then the second one followed, and I thought, surely not. Third one, and then by the fourth, I was like, what is going on? It was more, not obviously because the prediction had come right, but how are Wigan doing it? How are we scoring 4 goals in a game? Like, we're just not that kind of team, but a really entertaining game to watch. But it was also you could just see the frustration in Bristol Rovers as the game went on. And I think, was it Taylor Moore got sent off at the end? Yeah, and he'd lost his head. And you kind of, at that point, you're like, oh, this is it's not a nice 4-0 to do that one at that point, just because of the state. I remember watching your vlog after, Charlie, and you just sat in the crowd going, what have we just watched? But I'm glad that there's been a change with Matt Taylor. I think it was time, a bit like Ian Evatt at Bolton, to be honest. It had run its course at that point, and under Calderón, I've been a little bit impressed with what I've seen so far.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, what we mentioned earlier when we talked about Calderón. Since he's been here, it couldn't have got much worse, really. Because I remember, a lot of even opposition fans. I remember, Jake Tong and Nappers saying about, he needs time and stuff like that. But it'd been like it for a long while, and that game, I just remember. Shout out to Nino from Gascast, who was on your preview on your Progress with Unity podcast, but it was one of the few games that he usually goes in the Thatcher's End. He was in the South Stand, me and Weeksy and all that, and me and Nino at the end were just stood there in shock. I was just because it was a really weird game where it was almost like the Orient game in the fact that we'd had a few chances, not really done much, but then every time you went forward, you'd just score. And that was the point that where every goal we were basically conceding were from corners. What's the striker now that Josh said about, Hugill, that's it.
I told you. I was right about one thing. He is crap.
Yeah, you said about Hugill.
Not with us anymore.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. That's that because he's gone to Carlisle now, hasn't he?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm glad I was right about one thing.
Well, I think my prediction, I said 4-0. I said 4-1, and I said Hugill at the double, and that was kind of like a tongue-in-cheek because I'd not seen anything from him. And then he scores from 2 corners, and he didn't score for a long time. I mean, he got injured after that game, but he only got one more goal against it was against Wrexham, and it was again from the 6-yard box. But Hugill just was not ready for this level. I think he will be in maybe a couple of seasons, but I think going down to League 2 is probably the best for him. He just wasn't going to get the time with us now.
Yeah. It was really good because I think you were solid at the back, but every time you went forward, you basically looked like you were going to score. And then second half was a collapse and a half from us. Like you said, Taylor Moore red card. Griffiths had a bit of a nightmare for I think 2 of the goals. And overall it was such a weird game because I remember after I was sort of done. I was that sort of annoyed. We were playing Peterborough the week after, and I was like, and I usually pretty much go to every game. I was like, I'm not doing Peterborough. I was that done after that Wigan game. I was like, I just cannot. It's a lot tighter now. We're currently 18th, 2 points behind you. Obviously, if we win, touch wood, we can go above you. You're in 17th, played 25, won 8, drew 6, lost 11. The only difference, obviously, being you've lost 2 less than us and drew 2 more than us. And with goals for and goals against, we've scored 1 more goal than you, but you've conceded 13 less goals than us. Last 5 games, obviously, I was actually, for all the Champions League games and stuff, I actually watched your game against Burton the other night. Obviously, you lost 2-1. You obviously beat Mansfield away in the cup, but other league games beat Stevenage thanks to an Aasgaard masterclass free kick. Lost 3-0 to Birmingham, lost 2-1 to Wrexham, and beat Rotherham 1-0. Talk about your last, those sort of few games, and obviously touch on that Burton game as well that you lost at home the other night.
I mean, Burton was probably the most frustrating of the lot. The Birmingham one I can write off. I think it got to after the 3rd goal against Birmingham went in. I was just sat there thinking, what else are we meant to do? They're such a good team. And they've thrown a lot of money at it, but you've still got to get the players that you've spent money on to play really well. So I think fair play to Chris Davis and all the coaches there. I think that team is just unbelievable. And they were excellent. We had a lot of defensive frailties in that side, in that game, especially on our left side. I think we were just not at it at all. It made it quite easy for them. The Wrexham one was frustrating. I think we actually played really well, and it was a really late James McLean whipped ball into the back post. Stephen Fletcher, excellent chest down, take it away from Aimson, and a first time volley pretty much to get it past Tickle. And you're like, that's the level, isn't it? That's the difference. They've got players they can bring on and do that kind of thing. But the Stevenage game, I hate playing Stevenage. I think that, they're a really good, well-drilled side, just a horrible team to go and play because of just how tough and tight they make that game. But like we've had the Stephen Fletcher goal go against us for Wrexham, tell Aasgaard to stand up in the 95th minute and put that free kick, a bit like Beckham against Greece, into that far corner. And you just think, this is the wonder kid. He's so good. And then, after the Mansfield game as well, I thought we were much the better side. Mansfield strangely weren't at it. And then you rock up against Burton at home and you think, all right, with 2 amazing wins under our belt there, surely we should go and beat bottom of the table Burton. But our home form, stats-wise, home and away form on points and goals scored and all that isn't too dissimilar, to be honest. But when you're looking at the actual intensity and when you watch the games, it's like 2 different teams and it's very bizarre. Whenever we're away, we get like the results like we did against you lot and other ones at like Stevenage and things. But when we're at home, it's like, it doesn't matter who we play because we lack a lot of intensity and we kind of have to hope that the opposition are even worse than we are. And I think fair play to Burton. They actually gave it a really good go. They actually played some really nice football, especially caught us on the counter a couple of times. Owen Dodgson at left back.
Yeah, he was
didn't
brilliant.
Think he was great. Yeah, I just didn't think he was a great left back. But going forward, 2 amazing balls into the box made it difficult for us. But it's very bizarre, our home form at the minute. And I think that's why going into this Bristol Rovers game, I'm actually very nervous for it just because of the way that we're playing at the Brick.
Is it you got 3 home wins, haven't you? And 6 defeats?
Yeah, 3 wins, 3 draws, 6 defeats. Away from home, 5 wins, 3 draws, 5 defeats. So it's not, and we've played a game less at home. So say we beat Bristol Rovers, it's actually, there's 3 points in it, home and away form. But at the moment, our home form is 21st in the league and our away form is 6th in the league. So you're either getting relegated at home or you're getting promoted away. It's one of them weird ones.
It's mad because it's pretty much equal. Our away form, by wins anyway, our away form and your home form are the same. Like we've won 3. We beat Mansfield with our only shot on target from Luke McCormick, who's not even here anymore. We beat Cambridge 1-0, which was obviously our first win under Calderón, and then the 3-1 comeback win at Burton Albion, where first half we were a disgrace, to put it lightly, 1-0 down, and then we come back to win 3-1. I mean, I want to get Neil, have you got any thoughts or questions for Charlie about Wigan, manager-wise, formation-wise, anything?
I've said this to Charlie before about Wigan. I can't put my finger on what it is about Wigan because I never know where they're at as far as a football club. Like,
neither do I.
I never know if they're 2 weeks away from going bust. I never know if everything's sorted and they're on an upward trajectory of everything being fixed and rosy. I never know what Wigan are. I never, like, all I know is what a town to go out on the Ailing. That's about it. But like, as far as like that football club, I never know what stage they're at as far as their infrastructure, their stability, their squad. Are they on the brink of losing their best assets? Have they got money to spend? I never know, and I don't know. They're just a bit of an enigma, I think, Wigan, to be honest. And again, going into Saturday, no idea what to expect from them. Like, I can't put my finger on anything. Like we spoke about previously about Aasgaard, etc. But again, he could go through a period of a month we don't hear from him, and then all of a sudden he'll turn up and do something, and then they're just a football club that I can never put my finger on. And like we said about certain clubs, like Ori, you know what they are, you know how they operate, you know what their manager's like, you can get a gauge of them. I can't get a gauge of Wigan. Never can. Haven't been able to for years.
Try being a fan of them. In the last 10 years, we've been relegated from the Championship 4 times. We've won League One 3 times. We've gone into administration and we've been hours away from going bust. And that's just in the last 10 years. Like, there's no club that's gone through that much in the last 10 years of extreme highs and then really extreme lows. It's madness. And being a Wigan fan, you're like, what are we going to get this season? And you may as well have like a little bingo card that you can write down and just think, near extinction. Yeah, we got that one. But then it's like, you go through the season and we look at the squad that we've assembled, a lot of frees, a lot of loans, a lot of academy players. I think Maloney mentioned that every every squad that we're putting out for a game at the moment's got at least 6 or 7 academy players in it, because we've had to rely on them. A lot of them really have stepped up, like Tickle and Aasgaard and Luke Robinson as well at left back. But then you're stumbling a lot on other players, and we can't quite make the gap from being a good side or an okay side into a very good side. And I think that's going to hopefully come over the next few seasons. But then we're also worrying a bit about the investment, and there was a huge financial hole to fill, and it's going to take a long time to fill it. Then when you come into the season, and we had a pretty poor summer transfer window, all in truth. And I mean, we had got a lot of good loans have come in, like Dale Taylor's come in and Silko Thomas as well. They look quite lively. A lot of just haven't hit the heights. But then in January, you see that we've just signed John Mellish on a 3.5-year deal, Joe Hongbo on a 3.5-year deal, and you think, hey, oh, Mike Danson's found the code to the safe here with the wallet in it. We've actually got a bit of money that we didn't know we had. But then also, like, on the flip side of that, you've got Aasgaard, and well, Taylor obviously isn't with us, so he's probably going to go back to Forest on after his loan. Aasgaard's being touted by a lot of championship clubs, and I believe that a couple of enquiries have come in, maybe not so much bids, but enquiries. Sam Tickle as well is on a lot of radars. So you're thinking, well, these players who are making us look actually quite decent at times, most likely are going to go in the summer, unfortunately. So then you're kind of then preparing yourself for an even bigger summer window. It's just the life of being a Wigan fan, unfortunately.
Yeah, because it's happened quite a lot, hasn't it? Especially over, well, to be fair, you've always made quite a bit of money, haven't you? And you've always, like, because you've relied on the youth, you obviously had this, I can't remember, I forgot his second name, but Charlie, what's the centre back?
Charlie Hughes at Hull.
Yeah. You obviously had him go. You've had a lot of others going. You had Joe Gerhardt at you. There's been a lot of players. What's the percentage do you reckon if Aasgaard will stay or go this window? Do you think it'll be more likely in the summer, or has there been any sort of murmurings that he could go this January? Because it'd be such a huge miss. Like he's quality. Like every time I see him play, he's ridiculous. Like left foot, right foot, passing, finishing. He can do everything basically.
Percentage if he leaves the club in January and doesn't play again, I would think, or I would hope, is very low. I think it's a lot higher a percentage that a club buys him this window, but keeps him on loan at us, especially if it's a higher up team, if they're not able to guarantee him the game time that he needs, because you leave Aasgaard on the bench, his form completely will dip. He's a quiet lad anyway. He's not massively confident in himself. I've seen a lot of Latix TV stuff that they do when they're speaking to other players. They say he's works on music as well, and his parents are very musical. But they say no, when we're away on the trips and stuff, Tello's just got his headphones on. He makes his music. He'll turn up, score a few goals, and then he's not a wild person anyway. Yeah. So I think if you move him away from his home and you keep him on the bench, I think he will actually really struggle by himself. I think that a smart club would put in an offer for him, buy him, try and get him ready for the summer by keeping him on loan with us, because I think that you can just see at the moment he's thriving. I think that for sure, I would say that he's probably going to go in the summer, and I'm pretty ready for it. I think it's one of them that I was ready for Charlie Hughes to go in. It's also horrible when you do see that go, but you've also got to let these players go off and do the thing. And we've seen Charlie Hughes is doing pretty well at Hull. I know he's injured at the moment, but like Kyle Joseph went to
Joseph's another one.
He's done very well. He's now got his move to Hull. Joe Geller, he went to Leeds. It's not quite worked out. He's now at Hull. So I think there's a theme of all our players ended up at Hull.
Hull reunion.
Yeah. But you've got to let these players do it. But yeah, I think I'm prepared for Aasgaard to go this summer, if I'm honest.
Yeah, interesting. Matt put a comment about Conte. Calderón said he's out for the next few weeks. So I'd probably say, judging by that, probably back for the Peterborough game, because obviously we've got you guys then Charlton away on Tuesday. We're meant to have Wickham away next Saturday, but obviously they're still in the FA Cup. So I think the Peterborough game the week after at home, hoping he should be back. We've already talked about Sousa a while ago, and Taylor Moore as well. Obviously, Barton to Bolton. There's also talk of Taylor, but I think the Taylor, no way is he going to go Bolton. Not a chance. What is the score anyway with that Wrexham game?
1-1.
1-1 is it? Oh, interesting. I know. I think I've seen the two midfielders for Birmingham were apparently not playing. I think they're injured or So yeah, that's a big miss for them. Although Leonard coming in shouldn't be that much of a downgrade. Josh, have you got any thoughts, questions about Wigan for Charlie? And of course, let us know in the comments as well if you've got any questions as well.
It was all about Aasgaard, really. And you asked the question. I said I was going to say 2 questions. Like, do you see Aasgaard going in the summer? And if so, what does that mean for you? How much would he be going for? Like, give me if you had to put a figure on it, what would be deemed reasonable?
It's hard now with like inflation of prices and things, but I've seen 2.5 million touted quite a bit. I've seen that figure going around. Wow. Blackburn Rovers allegedly have been putting a bid in.
I'd probably agree with that. I'd agree with that.
I've only asked because I don't know about his contract situation. Because when we lost Evo, I remember thinking, how the hell have we only lost him for 450k? But then you look at his contract, and it kind of makes sense.
6 months left as well.
Exactly. So
Evans.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. How old is Aasgaard? 21, 22?
He's 22, but he's played well over 100 games for our senior team now because he came through quite young. Well, he had to come through quite young because of our administration. We had to rely on a lot of young players. But if I'm honest, I think Gregor Riok and Mike Danson as well, the owner and the sporting director, after the goal against Stevenage and recent performances that he's been putting in, I think there's only 7 of our 24 goals where Tello Aasgaard or Dale Taylor haven't been involved in. So you can see how key they are in our side. I would email everybody back who's putting an inquiry and say, sorry, price has gone up. If you want to come back, put in a better offer and just send in the highlights reel and just show, this is what the player's worth. But I would also...
How desperate are you for the finances, though? Because there's another one, isn't it? Because they'll just lowball you.
I'd say very. Yeah.
There you go. So you're never going to get market value for him, regardless. You'll never get market value for him, will you, really?
Well, I think what I would do is a really nice world to live in, but I think I would, if I was Mike Danson and Gregor Riok and Maloney, I would try and put a new contract in front of him with a really, really nice wage on him, keep him happy until the summer, because obviously then it works for us, and just say, look, if a really reasonable bid comes in for you, we will not stand in your way, but we also want to compensate you better for your time here. And we've obviously got a bit of money to do it because we're signing players on permanent deals now, but yeah, I think he's such an important player in our side. And I remember he took the number 10 jersey off Will Keane. He got the same haircut pretty much as Will Keane. He's played in the same position. And I was a bit worried about that sort of passing of the torch. I thought it's a lot of pressure to put on a young lad's shoulders. But last season he did it. He took it on really well. This season you can see just how much more mature he is. He's bulked out a lot. He's a tough player to play against. And I think as a Will Keane replacement, I couldn't have asked for anything better, really.
Yeah.
Also, you don't know what you're going to get from him depending on what his character is and what you say his character is if a bid comes in from a bigger club where you can get a better salary on a decent contract over a number of years, that gets rejected, then what sort of player have you got on your hands? Because like I've said before, if it's me, I'm kicking cones all over the place and ruining training every day until I get the move. If that's me, but that's how I'd approach it. Like if there's agents out there, they'll tell you to do it. Trust me.
Yeah, I remember that. That's what John Parkin done that. I remember listening to one of the Under the Cosh. I think don't know where he was at, but before he went to a move,
it would have been to go to Cardiff. That would have been his money move.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah, he was smashing all the stuff everywhere. He was like, "Yeah, I'm not playing." He was just kicking cones everywhere. So, yeah, it'd be an interesting one. Yeah, because he's obviously there's a comment here. What's Carragher like? Yeah, he was quality in that game we played you. What's he been like since? Because he looks a solid player and looks very, very like his old man.
Well, surprisingly, he's not been involved as much. Our back line is, Kerr and Aimson are our starting centre backs, and it's very rare that Maloney will ever change that. Starting right back usually has been Toby Sibic, who is more of a centre back pushed out to right back, a bit like Carragher. I think just Sibic, the difference between Sibic and Carragher is Carragher will carry that ball 20, 30 yards up the field and will be really strong defensively. It doesn't offer as much as Sibic with the, running through the right centre back and the centre back and the left back to try and give Johnny Smith that ball through. Sibic will follow through and can do that. Carragher doesn't quite do it. And I think Maloney maybe has kept him out just because of that. I don't think it's right. I think Carragher should be playing a lot more. And in the Mansfield game, I think it was Mansfield game, maybe it was Stevenage. Jason Kerr had a family problem, so he wasn't able to go to the game. Carragher started, and I thought Carragher was excellent in that game. He deserves way more game time than he's getting. And like I say, at the start of the season, he was very, very good. I think there was just a couple of mistakes that he made that kind of, put him out the side. Okay, we'll try something new. And then he's not quite been able to push himself back in. But, he's still going. I would like to see him a lot more, though.
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, keep hitting the like button as well if you're watching. We're going to get into our lineup and score predictions very soon. Now, just before, I know you said it a little bit. You said a little bit about Calderón, but yeah, what have you, since you played us and obviously, under Calderón, what have you made of us, and how do you think the sort of prospect of us coming to you? Obviously, the thing is as well, obviously a lot of gassers will know this, but you might not know. We haven't won 3 league games in a row since October 2022, which is absolute madness. I think that was when Coburn's debut at home, when we beat Cambridge 2-1. We beat MK Dons 1-0 away, thanks to an Evans penalty, and we beat Cheltenham away 4-1 when we absolutely smashed them. When I think Aasgaard
riot, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a long time, but yeah, what have you made of Rovers so far and under Calderón from what you've seen?
I mean, obviously you lot will know much better than me because you're watching the full 90 and I'm just watching the clips that get shown sort of online. But I think as well, stats wise, your last 2 away games, I believe, are the only 2 away games this season where you've had the better of the possession. And you've managed to limit sides a little bit more. And obviously you got that win against Cambridge. I think that Calderón, for me, I would say is just kind of taking it back to basics and the understanding of what he's got, what he's working with. Don't play that silly ball if you don't need to. Just hold on to it and we'll see if another chance comes up. I think Matt Taylor maybe at times is just going a bit of a frenzy. Oh, just get that ball forward. Just do this. Just do this. You're getting caught out like the Wigan game. And then it was all going wrong. And it was like, well, we need to reassess, go back to the drawing board, see what's going on. It's like you can see what's going on. Just take it back to basic. Understand that you're not quite there as a team yet to play this really nice football. But I think Calderón understands where you're at, and I think over the next couple of seasons, couple of transfer windows, I do reckon you're going to see a lot of really nice sort of players coming in, but also the players that you've got. I think O'Donkor and Shaq Ford have impressed me just how sort of clinical they can be. I don't think they've been scoring the goals that they would want to, but I think hitting the target wise, they hit it way more often than not. And I think, okay, if you can get them players in nice positions, and I think Calderón will really try to do that, the players that can get you goals, and obviously they make the biggest difference in the game. But one of the big surprises I saw was how often Luke Thomas wasn't getting chosen by Matt Taylor.
It was weird.
Yeah. And I was there thinking, well, if he wants to go, there's the nice little right wing spot for him at Wigan if he wants it. But then obviously under Calderón, I think he started in the last 3, played in the last all of them. I think he was off the bench in the first one. And I think that he's I always say that he's the master of the awkward ball through. That one where, is it the centre backs or is it the full backs? Whose is it? That kind of puts the defence in a bit of a frenzy. And I think if you can get him playing quite well and he just little punts forward, I think he's one of the better attacking players in that side. So if Calderón can get the best out of him, who knows what Rovers could achieve this season. But I don't think at this moment in time under Calderón you're going to be in any threat of a relegation battle. I don't think. It might be tight for the next few weeks or whatever, but I think eventually it's just going to be too good for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny that you mentioned Thomas, because Wigan, like, he started every single game up, and then after the game we played you, he just got random. It was so random, playing every week, playing 90 minutes, not even coming off, and then after the game we played against you, he just didn't feature at all. It was, I think within the next sort of 3 months, he'd only played about, up until the Wrexham game, he'd only played around 80 league minutes in 2 or 3 months. So it was so weird. And then he's come back in, got the goal in his what was it, his 3rd league start under Calderón against Cambridge, got the winner there. I think he assisted a couple. He still created the most chances in our squad, even for the time he was not playing. So yeah, he can be. I think all of us can admit every Rovers fan can admit he can be a frustrating player, but we're a lot better team with him in the side, and we create more and we look a lot better. So yeah, it was crazy, that situation with Thomas, but I'm happy he's back in, and I'm hopefully he can stay now, because he was. I can imagine he wanted to leave, and I think probably a few players felt like that as well under Taylor. But yeah, we'll get into lineup predictions now. Well, I'll go with you, Josh, first. What is going to be your starting 11 for Saturday?
So, Griffiths, obviously, and then it will be Moore, Taylor, Wilson, Souza. I'm then going to go Wardy because he has to start again after that. I know we're away from home, and I was tempted to go Lindsay, but after hearing what Charlie's just said about your home form, I might go Sawyers because it gives us that option of being more attacking when we need to. My only concern is, can he start 3 games in a row? But we'll go Sawyers. And then I will go LT on the right, Hutch in the middle, Sotirio on the left, and then Gats up top.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Yeah, we got to remember, and we will be back on Sunday, by the way, for the reaction to the game and the Charlton preview. Because we've got a Tuesday night game, a tough one. Even though we've won 6 in a row against Charlton, it's going to be a tough game, 2 tough away games. So you got to think about that, which is. I will
say as well, just quickly, I don't know how I've not mentioned it at this point. You just reminded me, we're talking about Soys in the midfield. Our midfield is going through the biggest injury crisis I think we've ever had. So Matt Smith and Tyrese Francois, who I would say are probably our 2 best midfielders, they're out injured. Matt Smith's out until April, Francois late March, I believe. Babradiko injured, he won't be available. Jensen Ware got sent off, so he's on a suspension. So at the moment we're with Scott Smith, who is 23-year-old academy product. He's done all right. I think he's struggled at times though. And then we've had to bring in Ollie Norburn on loan from Blackpool. Yeah, he's on loan from Blackpool. And then Kai Payne, who is our other young one, he's injured. So we've also got John Mellish, who's left back but can play into the centre midfield. So just when you're choosing your midfield, if you're going to put Sawyers in for a more attacking output, I think that's a good idea, because we're struggling a bit defensively at the moment in that area.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, just don't let us get too giddy and confident, because I'm there. Like I wanna break this 3 wins in a row curse. And like Wigan, I still, even though it was last game of the season, like last year, still gives me flashbacks to how awful that game was last game of the season. Even though I think most Rovers fans were just on one for a weekend, and drunk and that, it was so awful, and it has been for a lot of. I don't know I might do a post on it before the game Saturday, but yeah, we haven't won. I can't remember the last time we won at your place. It's just been awful. But yeah, obviously Norb. Apparently we wanted to get him in. Apparently we were linked with Ollie Norburn to bring him back to the Mem. I think. Well, how old was he? Gosh, I don't know. How old must he have been when he was at Rovers? 19, 20?
Yeah,
a long time ago we had him on loan. He'd always be remembered for that.
It was his first loan, wasn't it? Because he moved from Chelsea to Leicester. Yeah, and then Leicester to, I think he was 18 when he went to Rovers.
Yeah.
First ever experience.
Yeah, it must have been that long ago, because I was in 6th form. So yeah, it was a long time ago, and yeah, that Wildy at Cheltenham will always be remembered. What a goal! But yeah, I'll go to your Wigan lineup, Charlie, and then I'll go to Neil. What would be your preferred 11 to start for Wigan?
Well, Sam Tickle in goal, definitely. Unless something strange and drastic has happened, I would say that he's definitely going to start. Centre backs, I'd go Jason Kerr and Will Aimson. Right back, though, I would put James Carragher back in. I think Civic just needs a bit of time out, a bit of a rest. Left back, I thought...
Right, that's Civic.
Yeah, he's got moments of being really good. I think Carragher, the big difference for me is Sibic will make that run through the defense, like I said before. Carragher doesn't quite do it. But Carragher, if he sort of gets to the edge of the area and then holds his run a bit and say the right winger pulls the ball back to him, Carragher can put a brilliant ball into the box, a bit Charlie Hughes-esque, and that's what was really good about Hughes. Sibic can't really do that. He's got a bigger hit or miss sort of rate than Carragher. Carragher can be quite good with that. So I would put Carragher there for sure. The left back, I thought John Mellish was very good actually in the first 30 minutes against Burton, and then it kind of fell off a bit. But I think Luke Robinson, our academy left back, I would say that he should be the starter there because he was excellent in the games before that. The midfield, I think it's probably best to stick with Norburn in there, Ollie Norburn. I mean, I love watching him. The tucked-in shirt just takes me back to the mid-2000s. It's like football heritage there. I love it.
Yeah.
I think alongside him, I would probably put John Mellish, to be honest. I think Scott Smith has struggled slightly. So I'll do Mellish and Norburn, it's a little bit makeshift, but our entire midfield is a bit makeshift at the moment. In front of him, Tello Aasgaard has got to be in that number 10 spot.
Yeah.
To the right, I would say Johnny Smith at right wing. I know Joe Hungbo's come in, very, very good direct with his pace, but I think his final decision-making is not there yet. And I would say that if we want to press you early, I think Johnny Smith is the man to do it. You can also hopefully wear down Sousa on your left side, and Hungbo later on can come on and just his pace is unbelievable. And then on the left, I would do Silko Thomas. Michael Olakigbe's come in and done well sometimes in the one-on-one, but I think Silko's just developing a little bit better than he is at the moment. And then up top, I would do Dale Taylor. We've got Will Goodwin, but I just think Taylor, it's not so much a straight out and out number 9. He drops back quite a lot of times. So you'll see. Yeah, I think he's only like 5'7", I think. But you'll see him drop behind Aasgaard quite a lot. And the goal we actually scored against Burton, Taylor picked it up in our own half. Aasgaard made the run, and Taylor from our own half put a brilliant ball through. And I said on our podcast, I said, it doesn't matter if it's tier 7 or if it's Champions League. That ball, you're begging for it to be played. And he did it, and you're like, that's what we need to do. So, yeah, I would do Taylor. I think he just makes our entire attacking line much better.
Yeah. Yeah, but that Hungby was an interesting one because he was the one that was formerly of Watford, went on loan to Huddersfield when Warnock was there, was in the Great Escape, got a move to Germany, didn't work out there, was on loan at Rotherham this season. Now I didn't realise he'd gone on a permanent too. I know he but yeah, it's an interesting one. Still young, but Dale Taylor's always done pretty well against us as well in the past, and Aasgaard is just he's just that guy, and he's ridiculous. Neil, what would be your start 11? Obviously with Charlton maybe a little bit on mind as well.
I'd go unchanged, to be honest. I'd go unchanged. I'd send them straight back out there to do what they've done and improve on what they did Saturday. I think you're in a position now where you're able to do that. Like I said, you're looking to muddle through till May now, and you've got a group of players there that you can take back out into the quarters and just say, look, I'm going to give you another go to just do what we did better, see if we can do it on the road. I like the idea of Sinclair being away from home starting. It gives you a level of security in the sense that he's an elder statesman. He can manage you through sort of periods of games until you get in a position where you can drag him on the hour to bring on, like you said, Satiru, etc. if it gets to that point. And also, I just think I like the idea of Lindsay, Satirio, Ford, Ito under the lights against a pretty iffy Charlton side at the minute. I just like the idea of that, to be honest.
It's away. It's away.
Oh, it's away, is it?
Yeah. We beat them 3-2 at home.
That is a different kettle of fish then, but even so, I just think go to Wigan and tell them group of lads that I just want more of the same from you. It makes Calderon's week easier. Them lads know exactly what they've got to do leading up to that week. They know what the job in hand is. You're going to go and play against a side like Charlie said, who are struggling for a level of intensity on the pitch, and Calderon can look at that and say, look, just go and run over this side initially, beat him on fundamentals initially, and then what we've been working on day to day with the football will take care of itself.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, for me, I would Griffiths in goal, Taylor Moore right back, Sousa left back, Wilson Taylor centre back, Ward Sawyers in midfield, Thomas on the right, Hutchinson in the 10, Gatlin up top. I'd make the one change. I would go Soturio in for Sinclair personally, just because I
same
think
as me then.
Yeah. I think because he's played on the wing a lot. I think he come on as a winger on Saturday as well, and obviously got his first home league goal, got his second goal of the season, and yeah, with him having that confidence, I'd give him a start, and then obviously Charlton. Obviously, we'll get to that. Like I said, we'll be back on Sunday, but yeah, that would be my starting 11, and I think he's done well against Wigan in the past. I think obviously Shaq, he's been struggling as of late. Didn't even come on at all against Barnsley. But he's another one. Yeah, if you can bring him off the bench in League One, it's a pretty good option. Lindsay as well, Martin, last 20 or whatever. But yeah, we'll get on to predictions now. Obviously, get all your score predictions down in the comments below. Of course, if you don't leave them now, then leave them in the comments after. And yeah, if you're watching on the replay, of course, leave them in the comments after. I've nearly finished the points for the giveaway because obviously we missed so far, so that will be on Sunday. I don't know whether it's going to be early, 5 o'clock or 8 p.m, but we'll decide. But we'll definitely be back on Sunday. But yeah, leave your score predictions and goal scorers if you want. We'll go with Josh first. Score prediction and goal scorers. Can we make it 3 league wins in a row for the first time since October 2022?
Wigan don't score. They don't score goals, Wigan, but they also don't really concede. I'm going to go 2-1 Gas.
2-1 Gas, love that. Score.
I'm feeling something a bit different.
I'm hoping. I just hope nothing happens like you. I mean, you just said Wigan don't score. I just hope you don't get clipped again.
Oh, I know. I said this last time. I can't.
There'll be a central Wigan clippage if
there'll be a central Wigan banger if that comes out.
I was absolutely wetting myself when we lost 4-0. I thought because we were in a good reign of form at that point. We'd only lost one game.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2-1 Gas. Why not?
Goal scorers?
We've got to break that curse. I'm going to say Gats will get 1. And I'll go Hutch as well. Why not?
Hutch to get another 1. What about for Wigan? Aasgaard? Probably.
Well, it won't be Hugo, will it? It will be Aasgaard, 100%.
No. Yeah, lovely. Keep getting your predictions. We've already got a few in the chat. Charlie, we'll go with you next. You're going to make it back-to-back wins against us this season?
Yep. I'm going to go. Well, I think the Mansfield game, when we played them in the Cup, we were so solid at the back. And I think that going forward as well, Tello Aasgaard, a little bit of magic. And I was never really worried about that game. The Stevenage one, we got a nice first goal, but then Jensen Weir getting a red card. And I thought, okay, we're going to concede in a minute because once we start losing more plays in the midfield, we're just going to get overrun. And Stevenage did it within 5 minutes. Dan Kemp got a brilliant goal. But then we managed to carry on going in the free kick against Burton. Our first goal was coming. I thought we were very good in the first sort of half an hour. First goal, you think, yep, that's exactly what we needed to do. Go and build on it. Still celebrating. And then they went and scored about 30 seconds later. And you think, what have we done? And then when you actually analyze it, the defense went so narrow. They just packed in. And Owen Dodgson was saying, I'll take that space on the left side and I'll whip that ball in. Great save by Tickle, but then nobody followed up with it and they managed to score. And then when they got the winner, Williamson, our centre-back, was the highest man on the field. And you think Jason Kerr's looking, going, what am I meant to do? And again, Civic didn't close his man down. The ball goes in and Roman Burrell, man in form at the moment for Burton, man in form in the league as well at the moment, I think. He wasn't missing that, but I think if Latics can be more disciplined, if Maloney can say to Williamson and Kerr, do not venture out unless you really have to. And also Robinson and Carragher, which I hope they both start, get out to your man. If they come in on the wings, do not let that cross come in. We've done that quite a lot of times this season. I know we've got something like 10 clean sheets, I think. So we can defend very well. I think this will hopefully be a game we can do it. Tello Aasgaard, I think, is just on fire at the moment. And I do think that if Rovers are going to overcommit slightly in the midfield and just leave a bit of space, I think Aasgaard's shown he can score from outside the box. He can also run in the box with headers. Yeah. So I'm going to go with
both feet well.
Yeah, I didn't expect that from him. He scored a few on his left foot recently. I'm thinking, this guy can do everything. He can speak 2 languages. He can score with both feet. He can do whatever he wants. I would say I'm going to go hopeful. I know our home form I said was bad, but I'm going to go with a 2-0 Wigan win. I think it'd be a long shot, but I think it'll go. So I'm taking any offers for any kind of money value that we want to put. No, okay.
Not this time, mate. I can't do with the abuse.
Yeah. To be fair, 2-0 has been quite a popular one when we've gone to the. What's it called? Is it you've changed it again, haven't you? It's the Brick now, isn't it? What's going on with your stadium name?
It's the Springfield JJB DW Brick Community Stadium, something like that. No, I think it's the Brick Community Stadium, which is actually a very lovely incentive because the Brick is our charity in Wigan, so like support the homeless and people who need help as well. And as a way to help promote that, the club have given them the naming rights to the stadium, but also we've opened food donation banks around the stadium as well. So if anybody wants to bring anything, there's donation points there, which obviously goes to a really good cause as well. So it's a nice little thing. I think it's only for the season though, and then a sponsor will come in next year, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm pretty sure as well there was I seen it on one of the pages on our Rovers page and from our supporters club on X, but I think there's also a minute applause on the 31st minute. I can't remember. There's definitely a Wigan fan that passed away. I'll put it out on our socials or on mine or whatever, or I'll leave it in the comment section after. I'll quickly go and find it and then I'll put it in. So yeah, anyone else that's going up, do make sure you join in for that. So yeah, you've gone 2-0. You're the same prediction you went with on the Progress with Unity podcast as well. So you didn't change it.
No, I'm going to stand by it.
Yeah, stand by it. Neil, confident that we can break the curse and make it 3 league wins in a row for the first time in God knows how long?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a stretch. 3 on the spin is a massive stretch for this side. Like, it's pretty much unheard of, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, very.
I like. Don't get me wrong. Like, what we've seen is improvements. I just think it's a big ask. Do you know what I mean? 3 on the spin for this side is a big ask, and 3-0.
3-0.
Yeah,
that's madness, isn't
it? We've but over the course of what we've seen under Calderón is we're a side that creates chances now. We're a side that creates chances. Wigan aren't shy of scoring a goal himself. We are still massively vulnerable going the other way. And if we're going to go up against a side where they've got certain personnel that can play in holes and pockets, score from range, it could be similar to what we saw at Barnsley. Granted, the personnel's different and they're operating at a different sort of area of the table. But it could be one of them again, where the ball gets turned over so much that there could be shots on goal and chances all over the place. Could be a ball fest, but I'll go for 3-0. It's an optimistic, fun place, Wigan, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah. What's your goal scorers for both teams?
Right.
You got to think of 6 now.
Yeah, I'll go a Donkor. Sousa, Ford off the bench. I'll go Aasgaard from a dead ball, a Norburn rocket, and the black ball away. Jesus.
Yeah.
And is Goodwin still at you? Is he still fit?
Yeah, he's not really getting much involvement. He's still slowly getting into the team, but yeah, Goodwin's still in.
Is he named on the bench?
Yeah, he was named on the bench last. I think he came off the bench. He partnered Dale Taylor up top for the last sort of 15, 20 minutes, but he got a start before that and he didn't really impress. He got a yellow card within 15 seconds for elbowing somebody in the face. So kind of made it run for his own back.
If it's all set up to score against us, then
yeah. He scored against us in Matt Taylor's first league game in charge when we had Cheltenham at home, and we drew 1-1. He put them 1-0 up. So yeah, he's had a lot of injury problems though, Annie, since he's joined Oxford. He's not really played a lot.
Yeah.
So, but he was on form at Cheltenham before he went there. Interesting 3-3. So you've had 2-0 Wigan from Charlie, 2-1 away win from Josh, and a 3-3 from Neil. I'd never think I'd see the day that Neil would predict us to draw 3-3, you know, especially
If
at Wigan.
3-3,
Yeah,
if 3-3
Wigan's
happens,
I
will move to Bristol. If 3-3 happens, I will get a Bristol Rovers season ticket, and I will get all the kits.
There's your bet.
There's your bet.
Josh didn't do the return, so you're definitely going to do the returns if that happens. Right, so we've got Chris Collier has gone 2-1 Rovers, O'Donker and Thomas. Tom Butler 2-2, Matt's 2-2. Chris Collier 2-1, obviously. Thatchers and Sam 1-0 Gas. Also, sorry that I'm late. No worry. Thanks for tuning in. You've been pretty good as well, though, Sam. I'll make sure it's completed up to date on Sunday when we do the Charlton preview. But you've been pretty good with your score prediction. So 1-0 Gas. I'll take it. Lovely. Also, we've got Yambi Sims, even to you as well. 1-0 Rovers, 94th minute winner from James Wilson-Dino. That would be absolute limbs. I would love that. I might even have to stay the night if Wilson scores a 94th minute winner, you know. That would be insane. For my prediction, I think I'm just a lot more confident now with Calderón. I'm hoping it's just one of those where just because Wigan, we've had so many poor games against them, obviously 1 win in 12. I think we'll break the curse. The Wigan curse will be broken, and the 3 league wins in a row will be broken. I'm going to agree with Josh. I'll go 2-1. 2-1 Rovers. Aasgaard, it's got to be Aasgaard to score for Wigan, but I wouldn't be surprised if Norburn or Taylor. And for us, I'll go with Gatlin to get his 3rd goal of the season. And I'll go with Soterio. I think he'll get another one. There you go. That is pretty much it. Apologies that it's been a little bit
That's gone well. Thing is, you won't know it's happened.
Oh, yeah,
He's still chatting away. I'll wrap it up then, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Charlie, Neil. I'm waiting for Charlie to come back. I can't end it.
I'll call it a day. Yeah, nice one.
All right, I'll try. Shall I try and? We'll all have to leave. We'll have to leave.
I'm free.
All right.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Well done, guys. Thank you, Charlie. Neil's off. Oh, it's brilliant. It's just me. Love you all. Goodbye. So funny. Oh.
Right, guys, there's apologies about that. My phone just died, so yeah, I know obviously all the guys have gone, but yeah, madness. Phone died. I didn't even see what charge it was on. But yeah, thanks to everyone that tuned in. Hope you've all enjoyed it. Apologies about the last couple of minutes. But yeah, thanks to Josh as always. Make sure you go and subscribe to Gas Fan TV. Follow him on socials. All of our socials are below. Follow Neil. Thanks to him again. Thanks to Charlie again. He's been quality over the last few seasons for coming on and giving his thoughts on Wigan. A great insight from him. But yeah, like I said, if you haven't already done so, make sure you leave a like. Make sure you subscribe. We'll be back on Sunday. Just keep an eye out on the socials. I'm not sure whether it's going to be afternoon, evening, or whatever, but it should be in the evening, probably normal time at 8 p.m. So we'll be back to hopefully talk about a win at Wigan. Hopefully we can break the curse. Make sure you go and follow Charlie on his socials. Make sure you go and follow Central Wigan and the Progress with Unity podcast. If you haven't already, leave your predictions in the comments after the stream. Hit a like, subscribe, Fan Hub code, all that. Use the code if you haven't already. I'll be going to Wigan. I'll be going up on the supporters coach. So if any of you are going up there, then I'll see you up there. I'll be doing another reaction. And yeah, hopefully we can get the win, break the curse, and keep the good form going. But yeah, thanks to everyone that are somehow still here. I appreciate you all. Really do. Keep smashing the support. And yeah, see you Saturday. Up the gas. Come on.